Recently, that was aggressive. Recently, I read the book Keto Diet by Dr. Axe. I actually also got to see him speak a couple times now at this one seminar that I go to every year for re-education. So today I'm going to be sharing my review of the book and also the keto diet in general, but more specifically Dr. Axe's version of the keto diet. So make sure you stay until the very end because I will be sharing my opinion of the keto diet and so that you can decide if you want to use it. All right, if you're wondering why I have any qualification to be sharing my opinion about the keto diet, my name is Autumn and I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition and human performance. I counsel people one-on-one on nutrition, how to meet their wellness goals. I also have an intermittent fasting program that you can find out the details about in the description below. Okay, so his keto diet book, he basically breaks it down into this type of format. He starts off with basically what the keto diet is and what it means, the macronutrient distribution, exactly what qualifies something being keto, and the difference between his keto program versus the typical one, which I do have to say I really appreciate at least his view on keto diet because he talks about the fact that so many people are doing the keto diet wrong and just relying on low quality fats, cheeses that are made with conventional milk, having a lot of bacon rather than incorporating more plant-based types of fats. So he talks a lot about that, which I really appreciate. So he covers things like supplements, the keto flu, how to avoid it, herbs, all of that type of stuff. If you've read any type of health book before, any different types of nutrition book, then a lot of this will probably sound really familiar. He talks about the rates of obesity and type 2 diabetes and all these conditions that are really detrimental to health and how they are rapidly rising in America. So the whole first section really covers a lot of that. Then after he goes over the basics of the keto diet, he goes into more specifics on how it can help things like cancer, which, you know, there is a lot of research on how the keto diet can help with cancer. He doesn't extremely go into detail on this, but the reason why the keto diet can help with cancer is because healthy cells are different from cancer cells. So healthy cells have Actually, I should draw this out for you. Okay, pad of paper. Normally I would have my whiteboard, but I wasn't prepared. I'm just going free right here. Okay, so let's say this is a normal cell and this is a cancer. So a normal cell, these little projections are things that will grab onto sugar to use sugar as a form of energy. So a normal cell will have, let's say, 5 types of little projections for sugar. Super sciencey. Cancer cells have a lot more of them. This is why you'll hear that cancer really feeds off of sugar. Cancer is growing so quickly, it requires a really fast source of energy, and that's sugar. And that's why it's trying to absorb and use a lot more sugar than a normal cell, because a normal cell doesn't have to grow as speedily as a cancer cell. By decreasing your sugar intake in general, not necessarily going on a keto diet, but keto diet would be the more extreme route to do this. Just by decreasing your sugar intake in general, you're going to be starving off these cancer cells. In fact, there's a type of way to determine if you have cancer or if you're projected to get cancer, and it's called thermography. So when a cell is burning a lot of sugar, it will give off more heat because that's a byproduct of metabolism is heat. So one way to detect cancer early on is through something called thermography, and it's where they basically do a scan, a thermal scan. For women, it's your chest to see if you have any heat spots that are consistent with normal heat spots in your body, and this will signify if you have cells that are using a lot more energy, and that can determine if you have cancer. So that's a little side tangent, but basically the reason why the keto diet can help with something like cancer is because it deprives that cancer cell of its source of energy that it needs in order to grow quickly, because it can't grow quickly off of a slower energy source like fat. Now that is one point I do want to make about the keto diet book. It does a great job of showing you a lot of the research behind what he's talking about, but something that is just kind of bothersome to me is when people in the healthcare industry don't share how things happen in the body. I don't know if this is because they think it's going to be too confusing for the audience, but in my opinion, in order for you to understand what's going on, you have to understand the mechanism of what's going on. So for example, he mentions that the studies show that the keto diet starves cancer cells, that it will decrease your cancer risk, but what he doesn't do is tell you how it happens. Even the quick drawing I did of showing the difference between the two cells doesn't cover stuff like that, which I think is really important in order to understand and to retain that information. But if you're not looking to get the mechanisms behind it and you just want the research, he does cover a lot of the research, so that's great. Now, he does also provide 6 different plans for following the keto diet. He gives like a basic plan and a vegan plan and a cancer plan and all those things. And he has some recipes in there as well. So he does provide you, a lot of information on how to use the keto diet in a way that's not going to cause inflammation. Like, here's the pros of his approach. So I guess I'm really reviewing his approach rather than the book itself. The pros is that he really focuses on doing keto the right way. And like I said, there's a lot of ways to do it wrong, and that's what he really touches on. I love that he emphasizes emphasizes eating until satiated. As you guys know, that's a really important part of just maintaining hormone balance, achieving your weight loss goals. I talk a lot about that with this video. He also discusses some lifestyle practices, so like not using too much of your phone and going on walks, all those types of things that you guys already know that are really important for maintaining your health, especially if you've been watching some of my latest videos. Right? And like I mentioned, he does provide a lot of studies on the benefits of the keto diet. But on the flip side, like I mentioned, he doesn't really go over the mechanisms. And that's where I think it's really important, if you are going to do something like the keto diet, that you do understand the mechanisms behind it so that you understand what you're doing in the first place. Otherwise, just reading study after study of the different benefits, yeah, you might be impressed initially, but you're going to forget it. I forgot it. I was reading through it and I was forgetting the different benefits that he was mentioning just because there was no mechanism of action. Granted, I do know the mechanisms behind this. I was able to retain it a little bit better, but if I didn't have this biochemistry background, then I would have no idea why these things were happening, and therefore it would be a lot harder to remember that as a result. Okay, so one other negative is that he does talk about things like collagen bars being a healthy option for the keto diet. That I have a big problem with, because I don't necessarily believe in protein bars of any sort, whether it be collagen or protein bar. Relying on those in your lifestyle and saying that those are a healthy option, as you guys know with this video, that can lead to a lot of gut issues. It can also lead to weight gain, so I don't recommend protein bars. So overall, if you're looking for some information on the keto diet and not just having a lot of butter and conventional dairy products, then his book does a really good job of explaining that. For the keto diet in general, I actually did do the keto diet for about 2 months. I think it's really important for me as a nutritionist to do these things so that I understand how it feels and understand how it works and if it actually is doable, so that when my clients ask me about it, I can actually give them a real honest opinion, not just, you know, the science as well. I was very lean while doing this, and it can have benefits. Like for example, they have found benefits for cancer patients with the keto diet. However, if you're just looking to live a healthy lifestyle, if you don't have a condition like cancer and you just want to feel your best, this might not necessarily be the route for you. It is pretty restrictive because you can't have a lot of foods. In fact, I actually found it very difficult because, you know, it's important to eat until satiated, like I mentioned. And so I really load up my plate with veggies. But you can even get too many carbohydrates with the keto diet with things like eating too much broccoli. And in my opinion, anything that will limit your intake of veggies in general isn't something that you necessarily want to be doing, or at least long term. Now, he does really emphasize having a lot of veggies, but I did the keto diet and it does limit your veggie intake. It does, because veggies do contain carbohydrates. And in general, in order to be in ketosis, it's about 20 grams of net carbs that you're able to have per day. So just with the simple fact that you are already eliminating so many other different types of carbohydrates, you also have to limit your veggie intake as well in order to reach that point. So I think that's why it is really difficult for a lot of people to stick to the keto diet, and that's why it is easy to go back to those unhealthier versions like the conventional dairy products, like having a lot of bacon. Plus, I do have an issue with the fact that it does rely on macro counting. I talk a lot about macro counting with this video, but especially in the beginning when you are utilizing the keto diet, you do have to be pretty strict on counting the foods that you're eating. So when I was doing it, I did use an app called Chronometer, and I had to track everything I ate in order to make sure that I wasn't eating too many net grams of carbs. And this got really taxing and really tedious, and I just hate counting anything in general. I don't think that's sustainable, and it's not the way that we are supposed to eat and live. I mean, we were not born with internal trackers in our body, so why is it that we should have to rely on that? However, like I said, there are a lot of conditions that can greatly benefit from the keto diet, but it is something that I would recommend that if you are going to do it, that you really work with a nutritionist on, and a nutritionist that's well versed in the keto diet. Otherwise, it's very easy to do it wrong and therefore lead to more inflammation and even weight gain as well. So if you are looking to check out more information about the keto diet, and if you think it is something you want to dip your toe in, Dr. Axe's book is great. It does provide a lot of the studies behind it. It doesn't provide the mechanisms, which is my one real issue with it. And I don't necessarily think that the keto diet is for everyone, because it is very hard to go out to eat. It isn't necessarily sustainable long-term, which he does mention that actually in the book. But if you do want more information on it, his book is great for that reason. If you are coming across the keto diet in order to lose weight, I highly recommend that you check out this video. It goes over 10 different strategies that you can use in order to lose weight without counting calories, which is really important and very sustainable. Also, if you love the science-backed information on how to feel your best, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out with new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Let me know if there's any other books you want me to review, and I'll see you in the next video.